Welcome to the Morning Hustle. Listen, everybody, I feel like we got to say how you doing. We can't even say welcome to the show. We got to give it how you doing to Ciera Payton.
How
She's
you
going to be
doing?
on the Wendy
Hey
Williams
guys,
movie
how you
this Saturday. How are you?
Man, I'm great. It's today happens to be my birthday, so I'm just
Happy
celebrating
birthday!
another year around the sun. So everything's good. I'm doing good.
This got to be a great birthday gift to know that you got a movie on Lifetime about, such a big personality like Wendy Williams, and the fact that you nailed it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's pretty surreal, the fact that this is all coming out at this time. So yeah, I mean, I have no words for it. I'm just excited.
Yeah, you did an amazing job. So first and foremost, we're going to just ask, did you spend a lot of time around Wendy to get this nailed down? Because you're from New Orleans originally?
Mm-hmm.
And so I know you wasn't hearing her on the radio when you were younger, because like in New York, we would hear her on the radio. So
yeah.
when did you first learn of Wendy Williams, and how did you hang around her to prepare?
Well, I first heard of Wendy Williams when I moved to New York in 2008. And that was like right when she was making her transition from radio onto TV. And so I remember getting into the cabs, in New York, and they would have her playing, and I'd be like, wait, who is this? Like, I'm like in the backseat taking my, my earbuds out. I'm like, wait, who is she talking about? Like, I was like, dang. So anyway, that was my first introduction to her. And then, her show came on shortly after, and, she just came on the scene, and I just was like, this woman is like my Aunt Kathy. I was just like, she speaks her mind, is unapologetic, funny, keeps you on your toes. And so I immediately became a fan of hers back in the day. And so when this came around, this movie, it's a roundabout way. I mean, it just started off from people tweeting me like summer of 2019 saying, hey, if they ever do a Wendy Williams movie, like, you should totally play her. And I was like, what? That's so random, but thank you. Like, I would love to do that,
Right.
And so then I did season 1 of the Oval Tyler Perry show on BET, and that dropped October 2019. And so more people kept, messaging me on Instagram, was like, yo, like, you should, like, try to see if you could get in on a Wendy Williams project if they ever do one, because like, you should play young Wendy. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what, I'm just going to take that call and like start brushing up on my Wendy Williams. And so the process for me started months before I even got an audition, before I even knew they were doing a movie. I started watching her again, just digging up whatever I could, just try to get her mannerisms down.
Mm-hmm.
And then January 2020, Leah Daniels Butler, the casting director for this movie, called me into audition, and it just felt like a natural fit. And so by the time when I started preparing to do the role, because we didn't film the movie until August, we were supposed to film in March, then the world fell apart because of COVID. And so then they pushed it back to August. And so I went in and just started preparing. And right before that, about, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 weeks before I went to go film, Wendy and I had 2 very long conversations on the phone. They were probably like 3 or 5 hours long.
Wow.
And that was just me absorbing Wendy, or just listening to her tell these stories over and over. But I had already, started really diving into her, I would say maybe a year before we actually started filming. And, so just kind of already had her in my mind and how I wanted to play her.
Yeah, I told L'Oreal,
laws of attraction.
You did.
Yeah, right.
You did such a great job of nailing her mannerisms and the way she speaks without making it so over the top that it's almost like cartoonish, right? Because we know that Wendy Williams has such a big personality. So how did you what was your motivation in terms of like getting her down in a way that is like, endearing of
to
her?
the T? Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that everybody knows, her fans know her, even her non-fans know her really well because she's on TV, she's been around for so long. And so, I immediately knew that people were going to be expecting that, like the woman that we see on the talk show. But, when I would watch her interviews and even like dig up stuff from the past, on YouTube or whatever, I noticed like, oh, she was code switching a little bit, you know, like she was different in this setting than what she is in this setting. She's different. And so I was like, okay, let's just pretend that the person that we see on TV is a character that she created. So I'm curious, you know, how can I create a character that's the woman behind the camera? And so I just was like, okay, here are the given facts. I mean, because acting is, you know, reacting truthfully under given circumstances. That's what acting is all about. The character gets circumstances and you react as the actor truthfully. So I was like, okay, there's a woman that's been in radio, recently divorced, you know, I got all this history on her, whatever. Okay, who is that person? The person without all the fame and the glitz and the glamour. I want to know who that is. Okay, got that down. You know, I'm seeking all the emotions, all of the, you know, the circumstances. And then it's like, okay, now I'll put on, you know, the Jersey accent, that the eye movements and everything. And so for me, it was just so important to just play her as grounded and as authentic as possible, and just really take away this character that we see on TV, like just take that out of the equation, because yeah, that's who we know on TV, but we don't know who the woman is that goes home to her New York apartment right now.
Right.
And no one does, you know. I mean, I only talked to her on the phone, you know, a few times. I didn't spend any time with her at her house or anything. So, you know, like that's only just up to the imagination. But what I saw in her was her strength, you know, and I wanted to play into that. So
that's incredible, man. Like you did such a great job playing the role. I also like the fact that you made certain choices that I felt like took a level of method acting. And a lot of times people don't understand when you dive into certain characters or certain people's portrayals, there's a level of method acting. And I'm just curious, what was your process as far as methodically making certain decisions personally to try and go into a deeper layer of capturing that pain that she has and she possesses, as well as what did you do or pull from in anybody in your real or personal life that helped you make more grounded decisions as playing Wendy?
I mean, some of it was, you know, from my own personal experience, you know, just my emotional, well, you know, like I'm grabbing from like, you know, I know I know that heartbreak. I know how, you know, being upset like that or getting angry or getting so excited because I got this big opportunity. But then also, you know, some really cool stuff started happening when I was on set, like on this whole like spiritual level. And I was like, wow, like I'm getting an opportunity right now to like honor my father in this story, you know, in some kind of way, because he had some challenges with, you know, drug abuse. And so, you know, I get to kind of like not only be in Wendy's shoes, but like my father's shoes, you know, while choosing to do drugs and figuring out, okay, like what is that all about? And, you know, as the actor, you always have to attack a role with no judgments. Otherwise, it is going to be a caricature. Otherwise, it's going to be, you can tell energetically when an actor doesn't like the role that they're playing. And so I had to go in like full force and be so in love with this character. And also just in love with people in my life that have been through similar circumstances. And so, for example, like I said, with the drug use stuff, you know, I was just like, okay, I never understood my father's addiction and the challenges he had with them. But right now I'm going to just, on some level, like channel him into this scene. And it was like, after they said cut, I was like, dang, all right, that's crazy. Like I felt that. And I had to get on the phone and call him like, yo, dad, like, I'm sorry. You know, like if I ever gave you any crap for any of that, like I understand now. And I'm really, really sorry. You know, in other scenes, you know, with the miscarriages and stuff. I mean, there's some deep stuff.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Through.
Wow.
And, you know, I have friends that have gone through literally doing stillbirth deliveries. And
I can imagine.
You know, my Aunt Kathy had a miscarriage. And so I just, in some of those scenes, I was just like, I'm going to walk in the scene and bring those women into this and just, you know, tell this story that is a universal story, because a lot of women have experienced that. So, you know, it was a little bit of, you know, method, but it was also just, I don't know, just something on like some cosmic stuff happening. Like
you tapped into something. You plugged into something.
You know?
A lot of great actors, especially like Jamie Foxx when he played Ray in his portrayal, they speak about taking a part of the character and a part of the person with them permanently. Do you feel like you've taken anything from Wendy that you've started to apply or notice you catch yourself in everyday life? That's Wendy, that's not so much Ciera. And if you could tell us what some of those things are.
I think definitely, I do feel like I've taken some of her assertiveness with me, and, also just her confidence. I mean, that is the one thing that I noticed so much about Wendy. Like, love her or hate her, no matter how much controversy is going on in her life or whatever, like she comes out behind those doors every single day, and she gets on that couch and she sits up straight, and she owns it. She owns all of it. And so for me, I'm like, I'm such an introvert sometimes, and just like, I'm chilling with my stones and my little sage and everything. And like, but definitely I feel like I've kind of taken that I don't know, just that raw confidence and assertiveness from her and adapted it to my everyday life. So
is there anything that was left out of the movie? So, I'm sure you was filming a bunch of things. So something that you feel like they should have left in, but they did not.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. But look, there's only so much that can be put into the movie, first of all. And then second of all, we get the script. And it's a movie for TV, so you get like a certain time slot. You got to make room for the commercials. But there were just so many great scenes. I mean, there was one scene that I was like, no, why is that not in there? When she's like kind of telling her boss in Philadelphia, like, that she's gonna do what she's gonna do, like, love it or hate it. And then by the end of when she left that radio station, they were like #1 or whatever. But that was like such a boss scene, and I was like, dang, I wish she would have kept that. And then there was one little part of the scene when the baby is being delivered, and I grabbed the baby and I was like, how you doing? Like,
no, I'm glad they ain't put that part in.
I know. But it was like so cute, like the baby's like
that's
laughing.
Hilarious.
And so I was like, oh man. And like, the director was like, oh, that's great. And I was like, yeah. Like, and then like I see the movie, I'm like, oh, they cut it out. And then I was trying to like, serve my my peeps and everything, like some of the little dance scenes. I was doing my little like voguing and death drops and stuff, and then I was like, dang, they took that out too.
Damn, that wasn't it, I guess.
I know. I mean, it's so short, and
right.
It's just like, I just know like Wendy likes doing that death drop thing, and I was like,
right,
you gotta put that in there somewhere. But
it
yeah,
was like,
Well, we
there is so much. Anyway, I could go on and on and on, but hopefully there'll be a director's cut somewhere.
Saturday, 8 p.m. Lifetime. Ciera Payton stars as Wendy Williams in Wendy Williams the movie. Do you mind, before we go, Ciera, getting into character with us just for a little bit? Can you turn on the Wendy Williams? Because
the time when her arm got broke.
We're about to I think she just became Wendy Williams.
Okay, what was that? What? Okay.
The time when your arm got broke. Can we talk about that?
Oh my God, I don't even remember when my arm got broke. When was that?
I don't know. You said you fell or something.
Let me ask you guys something, okay? All right. So who are you dating? Who are you with? I'm looking down. You can't even see that I'm looking down at you right now, right? Okay, so I got Angie, I got Billy. Oh, okay. Well, how you doing, Billy?
Mm-hmm. How you doing?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, Wendy, this is supposed to be about you.
Married? Oh, this is about, no. We don't do about me right now. I ask the questions, okay, sweetie?
Okay.
All right, so anyway, all right, that's enough.
That was funny. That was so good. Yay. Thank you. Totals outside.
Yeah, you are a joy. I think everybody who hit you is talking about you need to be Wendy Williams, and who manifested that for you. I think they're going to be very impressed with what you have done and what you're going to do. So. Saturday, 8 p.m. on Lifetime. Wendy Williams, the movie. Ciera, before we go, let everybody know how they can follow you, how we can keep up with you, where else we can watch you.
Just on the socials at Ciera Payton, and then the Oval season 2 comes out in February. So yeah.
I think they should send you some money for your Cash App for your birthday too. Why not? Right?
It's my birthday, Ciera Payton.
I know that's right.
Cash Apper.
I'll take it too. But thank y'all so much for having me. This is so great. So many blessings to y'all. Thank you.
We are the Morning Hustle.